to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Ah, crap.
It's Mike Wright time.
I didn't know you had a scepter.
Yeah, the scepter really takes it over the top.
Mike is... This is what I expected yesterday. I guess you hadn't...
I hadn't won yet, man.
You had, though.
Yeah.
You had, but...
Yeah, there was no stress.
The champ is here, Mike Wright, crown, scepter, and... I don't know how you could wear two crowns, but he'd have the right and ability to do so.
I think yesterday the issue was you didn't know by how much
will
you have won because
Is
you
it 10
hadn't
million
had,
points?
You hadn't had Bijan go yet.
Never quite seen a performance like the 2 playoff weeks that Mike had in our League of Record.
He looked back at the league history on Sleeper, and the last 2 weeks in semifinals and championships are 2 of the top 10 highest scores of all time in the history of the league.
Whoa, including the number 1.
Well, take it away.
The number 1 and the number 8 highest scores of all time in our league.
Which is going into
weeks.
I just looked it up this morning. Next year will be year 20.
Oh, baby.
And 2 of the top 10 scores. So you left no doubt.
Oh, baby.
You had no reason to be stressed, even though you were, because you handled your business.
As of yesterday, I wasn't.
And then he, tortured us all with videos of him dancing in the street. And I mean, you honestly don't have very good moves.
Oh, what?
I'm sorry.
He's not wrong.
Those are bad?
Nah. It looks,
Which made it worse.
You're just fanning farts. That's all you're doing.
Yeah, he's dancing in the street.
That sounds like non-champ talk over
with
there.
Fireworks in his hands. He had been kind of mild and calm, and then now we have to do this show.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I know something's coming on this show.
What?
I know some kind of
it feels like
torture.
Andy and I are just waiting. Like you've got like this nice little glider that's going over the mud that Andy and I are wading through as you're circling around us like a vulture.
I know stuff is coming on the show. Jason and I thought about just not coming in.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to endure it. Okay.
Okay.
What's going on? Hold on.
Oh, I hate this so much.
Oh, my God.
What's happening?
Oh.
Jeremy, you allowed this.
He probably facilitated
After
it.
becoming the first ever Super Duper Champ by winning both the League of Record and the Ballers Dynasty League, the Fantasy Footballers Ring of Honor is proud to re-induct the Fantasy Hitman, Mike Wright.
I'm in again! Guys, I'm in the Ring of Honor twice!
Sounded like you re-inducted yourself.
Yeah, it's the same thing. 2 times. Unbelievable.
Congratulations, Mike.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. The people love it.
For those just listening, I'll describe.
Just a green hue.
I'll describe the hell we're in. Yeah. There's Mike Wright's name plastered on the back of the wall.
Oh,
Michael
gross.
Timothy Wright.
Oh.
Respectfully referred to as the FF Hitman. As last year's League of Record champion and the man which you destroyed in this year's Dynasty Championship, it is with a little pride and immense sadness that I present to you for the first time ever the Fantasy Footballers Championship Trophy stack.
Oh,
He's got
my
both
gosh.
Of them. He's got
Let's put
both
that one
of
right
them.
there. I'll just
This
gear up.
Disgusting.
I'll just gear up, boys.
This is disgusting. If I had the outro button to this show, I would hit it right now.
Oh, my goodness.
I was going to describe this to the listenership, but I'm not going to subject you to.
They need to go watch.
Unbelievable.
I
am the greatest.
I know that it would be bad for us.
Covering my face here.
But I almost want to ask people to unsubscribe.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Please.
It'd be bad for our living.
I really hope nobody sees this episode. Ever.
What a moment.
Al, take your time producing this one today.
Yeah, if this
Get it
one
up
doesn't
a couple
hit,
hours late.
If it doesn't hit YouTube due to processing difficulties,
I understand. YouTube sometimes they've got issues.
I will throw that monetization in the trash.
Oh, for sure. In fact, find some music to play. Just find
so find some kind of copywritten music to hit.
Yeah, play it
that
right
can
now.
ruin the monetization. I will look into it.
That's weird because you can't take my trophies away.
I'm tempted to knock it down, and that's glass.
Yeah, if that thing falls, we're both
This
in big
day has
trouble.
been very bad for 2 years in a row for me. Because on this episode last year, I had lost to Al in the championship, and he had my family taunt me on the show.
Yeah.
And then today,
That was actually pretty great.
double Mike, insufferable Mike, which we knew was coming.
Oh, man. 2-time Ring of Honor?
Nobody in the history of Ring of Honors has ever been reintroduced to the same Ring of Honor.
I know. It's
So
what an
you're just-
honor.
You're not the only champion in the world, believe it or not. In Zoe We Trust is the official Megalo Bowl winner.
Do we have an applause? I don't know if
20,000 entries.
Congratulations. That's a
One
big
winner.
win.
And Matt Razka. Ooh, try that one on for size.
Matt Razka?
It seems pretty easy.
Razka.
That's what I was wondering. But
Do.
the listener league winner,
Raz.
Matt Razka.
Do Razka.
Razka. So in Zoe We Trust and Matt Razka, champions. Also, Mike's probably bought out the inventory, but shopballers.com if you want to check
There's
out.
a couple of scraps.
If you want to check out we have 2 different shirt designs for champions this year. I tried to reply to as many people on X, on Twitter as I could. The champions are out there. We also saw the bad breaks.
Yeah.
And if you had the courage and the ability to come and listen to this show the day after your bad break, I applaud you. I would not have that. Like, I am contractually obligated to be here today.
I'm here so I don't get fined.
But we knew, I mean, if you have anybody like Mike in your league, you're suffering right now.
Mm.
And everybody wanted advice. I was on our stream last night. Mike was on there, and they wanted advice on dealing with the bad breaks. And the advice is you can't. It's to wait. It's just wait.
Just suffer a little
Just
while longer.
wait, and eventually you'll want to play again.
What's crazy is oftentimes at the end of a football season, the hatred for this game we play is real and alive. And then by the time that the next season starts getting close, it's like, I can't
fever
wait.
is back.
Fresh
It's been
start.
too long. It happens every year.
This can't happen every year.
This can't happen
Mike
ever
Wright,
again.
He's holding a ruby scepter.
It's very heavy.
Is it? Let me see this. Goodness gracious.
It's a weapon.
Oh, my gosh.
It's way
It's like
heavier
from
than
the
it should
Queen of Narnia. What the heck is going on? Well, you're doing it right.
be. Yeah.
You're doing it right. If you won, haunt your league.
Let's like if you have the pain. Look, I've had the pain.
Yeah.
I've had big pain. Makes this so much better.
That is the
It's
truth.
so sweet.
The highs are higher when the
Yes.
lows are lower.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. My goodness. We are going to talk about other things today. We have the Monday Night Football game, which was crazy and creates a horrific situation for Tampa Bay fans
Oh, man.
because the Falcons upset the Rams.
Should have took care of business.
The Falcons were up 21-0 and then gave up the lead and then won the game 27-24. Bijan unstoppable, a 93-yard touchdown. If you had him and needed him, that was – I mean, there were so many people that sent me messages yesterday. Bijan v. Puka. That's their situation, right? Because those guys were on championship teams. And, yeah, advantage Bijan.
Serious.
2 touchdowns. Mike did lose something, by the way.
Oh,
He did lose something. He lost our head-to-head tiebreaker in Prize Picks. He is the shame this week.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Oh,
So
no.
I don't know what I can do to him.
Just saran wrap his face.
Saran wrap his
Don't let him
face.
breathe.
Oh, my gosh.
The go to
ultimate-
sleep.
Yeah, it's just called the
The sleeper?
yeah.
That's murder.
Nah.
Yeah.
It's an accident.
I'm going out on top then.
Kyron Williams ended up with the majority of the work in the backfield. Blake Corum got hurt in this game.
I watched this whole game, guys. I have no idea what anyone did but Bijan. Like I have no recollection of any statistics being gathered other than
Because
Bijan
you were dancing
Robinson.
in the street, Mike. Puka was 5 for 47 and a touchdown.
almost one of the best catches you've ever seen.
Oh my gosh, that catch, which wasn't, but mostly was absolutely the best non-catch I've ever seen in my life. He also had 77 yards and a touchdown called back on penalties.
Right.
Yeah, when that catch happened on the sideline that ended up not being a catch because it actually wasn't by the rules now, but the catch child would be like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a touch.
But that just made me wonder what new scientific substances we're attaching to gloves at this point. Because there's no one on this planet.
Hands don't do that?
No, and whatever, the stickum of the Jerry Rice era also doesn't do that. That is a new part of the periodic table that they are injecting into the gloves because that ball didn't move once it hit his hand. That was unbelievable. But here's the situation that it puts us in. The Falcons winning, and this is a massive algorithm of strength of schedule that comprises who makes the playoffs. But because the Falcons won, if the Falcons win next week against the New Orleans Saints and Tyler Shuck, which
it's pretty impossible at this point.
The Saints are, on fire, right? But that's a winnable ball game.
Sure.
Either team could win that game. If that happens, then the Panthers-Buccaneers game that we thought would be just a heads-up matchup to make the playoffs would not matter for Tampa. Because if they won the game, they'd still be out, and the Carolina Panthers would still win the division.
Oh, just nasty.
So the Falcons are early favorites, 2.5-point favorites. Right
yeah,
now.
I mean, it kind of makes sense after the way they played this week, and they probably have the better personnel. So
in the last 8 weeks, so since week 10, the worst teams in the NFL, you have the winless Raiders, you have the winless our Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
0-8, 0-8. Then you have the 1-7 Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh.
They look about like that.
It's crazy how they have just collapsed.
So they deserve to win in the final week and miss the playoffs.
I mean, when you go 1-7, you shouldn't be a playoff team.
No, that's why I said just give it to the Saints.
100%. You're right.
Award it to the Saints if they win next week. But that's your situation. Today we're going to talk about basically some of the playoff motivation levels in NFL playoff picture situations. If you are playing in Week 18, this will help you. If you're not playing in Week 18, this is why you watch football. It's for, some playoff spots on the line, some draft pick situations on the line, and, we'll be talking the draft before you know it. So, and doing all of our collegiate scouting. The Dynasty Pass is coming out February 8th, which is Super Bowl Sunday. So, lots going on. Let's talk some news.
News and notes from around the league, presented by Progressive Insurance.
Well, we did have the injury to Blake Corum, which put him much lower in our waiver wire rankings for Week 18 than where he was, because they'll probably manage him in light of the fact that if they win, they can improve their positioning a little bit from the 6 to the 5 seed. But at the cost of your playoff success.
It does matter. The Rams are playing for a much better spot as far as who they play against. And McVay, liar, pants on fire McVay.
Very much.
Came out and said that they are going to play their starters, which is not the usual McVay way. But I agree with you, Andy, that the guys who are currently banged up, like Corum, Devontae Adams, you know you're going to the playoffs. Yes, the seeding could change. But if you are actually hurt, I'll bet they give those players the week off.
Yeah, and the thing is they can win and not move a seed. And so that's a tough situation for them. If they win, but San Francisco wins, they accomplish nothing with playing these players and taking that risk. So we'll see if maybe the biggest liar in football, Sean McVay.
It's unfortunate.
Well, competitive advantage, Mike.
Right. But
lying.
Yeah. Just what he means to us in the fantasy community.
Well, let's talk through the AFC playoff picture, starting with basically clinched playoff spots but little to gain by playing players this week, and we already know one of them is not really going to play their starter at quarterback. The Chargers, they're locked into a wild card spot at the 5, 6, or 7 seed. Jim Harbaugh already came out and said that Herbert will not start. They're 12.5-point underdogs to Denver because Denver just needs to win to secure home field throughout the playoffs.
So Justin Herbert's not going to play, huh?
No.
Oh, yeah. We'll get there later. I mean, the year of Mike has to conclude.
It's Trey Lance
with a
time,
Trey
baby.
Lance. I mean, we should have seen this coming 2 weeks ago. This is unbelievable. It's just unbelievable.
I'm on a heater, baby.
That's not a heater. This is like
That's like dark magic.
dark, evil magic.
Yeah, that's like toil and trouble or whatever.
We've got to find someone who Mike loved who's not in the league anymore, who's still young enough, and just bet money that he comes back because it's going to be.
Well, it was basically Trey Lance.
Yeah,
I mean, he's going to
it-
start a game.
Unbelievable.
So, is Jeremy Hill on the way back?
Yes, exactly.
RG3 won Mike a title a long time ago. Maybe he'll play again. The Bills are the 7th seed. They are locked into 5, 6, or 7. They can improve to the 5 seed with a win and losses by Houston and Jacksonville. Neither of those are likely. It does make you wonder if they're going to manage the foot of Josh Allen. I would do that if I were the Bills.
They can win. They're playing the Jets.
Yeah, they can.
You can win with your backups.
Certainly.
Like the Jets they're done. And Brees Hall banged up his knee a little bit. If I'm Brees, I'm not playing.
I believe the Jets are. It's possible unless they. I don't think they intercepted a pass this weekend.
No, they did not. They are
so
still.
they could go 0 interceptions as a team for a season after hiring the defensive guru and genius as their head coach.
Brutal.
And if you're wondering, well, how common is that to go a whole season without an interception? It's never happened.
No, because you would imagine you would luck into something.
Mm-hmm. A tip.
A Hail Mary.
Yeah.
AFC
just
teams,
good defensive play. Like just luck into one good defensive play. You have NFL players.
Sure.
Like just accidentally, a bad pass to your defense.
Impossible.
No.
AFC playoff-bound teams that can improve their seeding. Denver becomes the number 1 seed with a win. They're heavily favored against the Chargers, now sitting players. Chargers are willing to give this one up, it seems. And so it's a big deal for Denver because if they lost, they could drop as low as the number 3 seed.
Do you think that Harbaugh and the Chargers, they view the Patriots the way that you do, Andy, in the sense that, like,
they'd rather play them?
Yeah. Because if they lose, they go down to the number 7 seed. They face the number 2 Patriots. Maybe they're like, they haven't really been tested.
What is the most fair way to criticize a 13-3 team with an MVP?
Yeah, I know, right?
What's the most fair-minded way to do that? The Patriots have defeated one team above 500. The Giants have defeated 2.
It's wild.
So it's nothing like the Patriots are going. He's going to win the MVP. Drake May is going to win the MVP.
Yes.
And, I don't know what Mike Vrabel will do in this final week. I don't know if Stafford and May will both play this final week or not. If they won this week, that would mean they get the number 1 seed if Denver lost. But Denver's probably not going to lose.
No, Denver's 12.5-point favorites.
Yeah, exactly. So New England, not a lot to play for. Jacksonville, it's highly unlikely they would need Denver and New England to lose to get the number 1 seed. Otherwise, they win and they clinch the division.
Jacksonville has this wild, very unrealistic, but they could finish as the number 1, number 2, number 3, number 5, number 6, or number 7 seed.
Really?
Yeah, it's. Amazing different things have to happen, but
I think they're definitely going to play to win this game. They're obviously heavily favored. It wins them the South. It stops Houston from passing them. They're highly motivated.
Oh, they are very motivated. They don't necessarily have the division in lockdown. Obviously, they're playing against Tennessee, so they should win this game when they're motivated, but Tennessee's been playing better. Houston plays at the same time. I was looking this up earlier for C.J. Stroud motivation, and the Jags and the Texans play the 11 o'clock a.m.
NFL's
Eastern time.
Usually pretty good.
Yeah, they've gotten
that.
better at that over the years, and
Houston's got this game in the bag as well because they're facing Riley Leonard now.
Yeah, so if they win and the Jaguars lose, then Houston takes the division.
That is correct. So and DeMeco Ryans already came out and said that C.J. Stroud will start and that Houston, they've now won 8 in a row. And then the big game in the AFC is the Sunday night showdown between the Ravens and Steelers.
Oh,
it is for the AFC North title and the number 4 seed in the AFC.
fumbled the bag.
And so Pittsburgh now 3.5-point home underdogs.
Crazy.
We don't know the status of Lamar Jackson right now. It's up in the air. But
and yet they still favor Baltimore.
Yeah. It's this one's the one true on the line game now that we have a little bit of variable in play with the Panthers-Buccaneers game on the other side. But that's your AFC playoff picture. We'll take a quick break. We'll talk through the NFC.
It's also,
unless you want to add something.
Yeah, I know we threw like a fire hose of information out, and when you're making your lineups later in the week, you might be like, I forget. We have a Week 18 motivation article on the website. All this information's there so that if you're like, oh, I forget, just go to thefantasyfootballers.com, go to the articles. Matthew Betts wrote up an article recapping this.
All right, we'll talk NFC in just a moment. All right, on the NFC side, when you look at clinched playoff spots and little to gain, here we find the Packers. 7th seed, locked into the 7th seed, 0 motivation this week. Jordan Love coming off of a concussion. You see any reason for him to be out there?
I mean, I think I would play him at least a half.
Just to give him some primer before playoffs?
Stay in the routine, prepare for the game, go out, get some reps.
They'll be facing the number 2 seed on the road, which is currently Chicago, which would be a crazy repeat game.
In the playoffs.
Green Bay has lost 3 in a row. They are not going the right direction. I feel like from the moment...
That's why you play your guys.
I feel like from the moment that we were like, you know what, it's probably going to be Buffalo and Green Bay. Both those teams just completely...
It really felt like it was from the moment Micah Parsons went down.
Yes.
Yeah. And then they lost... I mean, they've lost other pieces as well. In the NFC side, when you're looking at playoff-bound teams that can improve their seeding, you've got a big game, Seattle, San Francisco. The winner gets the bye. I mean,
this
is
massive.
It's like winning 2 games, right?
Yeah, or lose and go on the road.
Right, because they would become a 5th seed?
Yeah.
Well, that would not be fun. But they would play the NFC South champion, right? So that would be kind of seemingly a nice matchup.
It's a nice consolation for having to fall so far in the seeding.
If we want to, based on what happens this weekend, like maybe we just don't even have a South represent.
For the NFC?
Yeah, you just give a double bye. Don't even send one.
Can we give it to...
That's a lot of extra fees and hotel rooms and things like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of extra cash.
Yeah. Seattle, San Francisco. Who do you think wins that game? It's in San Francisco. And by the way, San Francisco, they win this game. It's home all the way out.
I think Seattle is the better team.
I think San Francisco.
But I think San Francisco wins this game. Being at home, I'm going to go with them.
Kyle says the line is moving back and forth, but currently it's at Seattle -1.5.
They're trying to get some people back on that side.
Goodness. That game will be awesome.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think it's going to be fun. Chicago, they are right now the number 2 seed. They're trying to lock that up. Philly, if they lose to Washington, or if Chicago wins against Detroit, they lock up the number 2 seed.
So
if they lose and the Eagles win, they drop to the 3.
That's not locked up.
No. They've got to win the game, and it's Detroit, and there's a lot going on. That's a 2.5-point line right now. Detroit, a lot of pride there. Divisional matchup. What game was it? I think Al will know this. Wasn't it the final game of the season when Detroit knocked Green Bay out of the playoffs 2 years ago? Do you remember this? Detroit had nothing to play for.
It sounds familiar. I don't know.
I'm surprised you don't know that off the top of your head. I think
that's Packers fan.
I think that's what happened.
No, we just block those things out.
That makes sense. What's Philadelphia's situation right now? 3rd seed. If they win, Chicago loses, they become the 2.
I don't think that they are extremely motivated. The Eagles team to me seems like one that might still rest people.
Nick Sirianni said we're still thinking through whether they will play their starters in Week 18, so they could end up just not playing them at all. Probably not going to see Mariota in this game. Josh Johnson. I mean, they can win without their starters against Josh Johnson. So, Jeremy, did you find the answer to my question?
Yeah, it was the 2022 season.
And the Lions knocked the Packers out of the playoffs. They had nothing to play for. and beat them at Lambeau 20-16.
Correct.
That was what they had to play for.
Yeah, it just feels like Detroit's going to be highly, highly motivated to send a message to Chicago.
That's got to feel good. If you're like a team or you're knocked out in your final week, again, it's the Lions, it's Green Bay, and you're probably looked upon, you're like, no, Green Bay's going to go right through, and you beat them, and they don't go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Handshake at the end of the game
Yeah.
with Aaron Rodgers.
You're welcome.
You're like, hey, good game, Aaron.
Yeah.
See ya.
And then we talked about the Rams. They're locked into the 5 or 6 seed, so not a ton. They got some players they need to get healthy. Devontae Adams, we're not going to see him. We probably won't see Blake Corum.
Mm-hmm.
So on the NFC side, fighting for the playoffs, Carolina, Tampa Bay. We talked through that entire scenario. Carolina can make it easy. Just win.
Just win. And then
just
we
win
won't,
the game.
Then we don't have a sub 500 team getting a home. I like divisions. I think it's fun in football, in the actual NFL. A sub 500 team should never host a playoff game. I believe that with all of my heart.
I feel like they shouldn't play a playoff game.
Okay, you're going a further step.
I do. I think that a team that, like, you're in a division that was bad, meaning you had an easier path. You played easier teams within your division that you won with a sub 500 record. You are taking a playoff spot away from someone who is a better football team. It's bad for the fan who wants to see every team in the playoffs with a chance to make some noise. You don't want there to be a game where it's like everyone's hoping they play against this matchup.
Thankfully, it's not – I don't think it's really egregious this year.
Sometimes you get
someone being held out.
Obviously, you rotate the divisions that the divisions play. So sometimes they get tougher divisions that they play against, and then sometimes there's a lot of parity within the division. So you end up eating yourself a little bit, right? Like all the different teams within the division.
The snake.
Yeah, there's no dominant team, so the records can bounce around a little bit because of that. Who is their AFC division that they played this year? Do you know off the top of your head?
I do not.
We can figure that out.
Nah, we can't figure it out.
We can't figure it out. It looks like it was the they played the East.
I like that.
They played
Jason
the AFC
was going to go
East.
figure it out. The king of divisions.
Yeah, you don't even know who are in the divisions. Who's in the AFC East, Jason?
I know every single division, every single team who plays against every team in the division. I just don't ever remember the names.
So who's in the East? That's all I'm asking. That's who they played this year. I'd like to know.
The East.
The AFC East.
Yeah, the ones on the eastern side, like the Steelers.
This is what I mean. You were like, look down, you're like, yeah, I'm going to figure this out.
Oh, yeah, they played Buffalo, New England, New York, and Miami this year, and then we're gonna enjoy the Panthers-Buccaneers game, and maybe who is there a team you'd rather see between those two in the playoffs?
Do
you want to see Dave Canales and Young?
Yeah, I think the Panthers would be a better playoff team. Yeah,
I want to see the Buccaneers figure this thing out. I don't want them to go. No, it feels like it. It does feel like that, but I'm still rooting for the Buccaneers. Like, I know we were just talking about Todd Bowles, and maybe you need to wrap that up, and I think the fans are sick of it, and they're sad that they let Liam Cohen go and all that. Todd Bowles is a good coach. He's won the division many years in a row. They've had a good run. Exactly. You guys are saying exactly my point from my perspective, which is it is so easy to look at a bad stretch run and just be out on a player, on a coach, on a whatever. It's not the truth. The truth is
so his record with that team, with Tampa, 8-9, 9-8, 10-7, 7-9. Any change of opinion there?
No.
Before that, as the Jets head coach, obviously 5-11, 5-11, 4-12 the previous 3 years, which means he definitely doesn't have a winning record as a head coach.
Yeah,
even close to it.
In totality. But I'm
He's
just
a good
saying,
defensive coordinator historically.
Most of the times when head coaches are replaced, it's not always it's not just, oh, hey, we got a new head coach, so things get better. Teams that fire their head coaches end up doing it again and again and again because they keep searching for the next McVay, and they don't usually find him. They end up with a John Gannon. And so I just feel like some of these franchises having stability is worth a ton. And I don't think he's a bad coach. So my point is, I just hope they figure it out. Win this game, Baker starts figuring it out, they make the playoffs, and even though they kind of backed in, maybe they just end the year with a little bit of momentum. That's my hope.
Todd Bowles is a defensive coach. 2025, what I'm seeing right now is in terms of their defense,
one of the worst defenses.
In yards,
they're one of
20th.
The worst.
Last year, 18th. The year before that, 23rd. It was
the
first
who's going
year
to
he
the
took
playoffs
over was
with 12
9th.
wins? Liam Cohen.
Right.
You know who's might go to the playoffs with a win this week? Dave Canales.
Which NFL.
I think those were masking issues on this team.
Hire defensive head coaches.
Yeah, really.
Don't do it. It doesn't work.
Number 2.
It doesn't in the long run. It just doesn't work because the ebbs and flows of your team are going to be you had Liam Cohen's coming and then they're going to go get a head coaching job and your team's going to fall apart. And I think Dan Campbell is a great coach. Ben Johnson leaves, and I know Aaron Glenn left and things too, but it's hard not to be like, let's see what happened. You lost your brilliant OC, and then it wasn't as good.
You said they're 1-7. Is that right?
The Tampa Bay Bucks
Tampa Bay
in the last
Buccaneers?
8, I believe so. Yeah.
I mean, and that's losing to New Orleans. That's losing to Miami.
Yeah, they had a lot of
That's
games.
losing to Atlanta. They did beat Arizona 20-17.
Barely.
The Cardinals have been losing by a
by.
million. Otherwise, I mean, they've lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If they had not lost that one game, my goodness. I just think that it's
been a
so
collapse.
It's been both sides of the ball. The offense you can't trust, and the defense is getting defeated. So it's wild. I missed the beginning of the year when Mbuka was exciting and fun, and Bucky Irving was healthy and looked good.
And the Buccaneers were chanting MVP for their division-leading, Super Bowl contending, awesome team. That was this season.
The Colts and Buccaneers, first half versus second half. Very different story.
Mm-hmm.
That was News and Notes, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms, limits, and conditions. Did you have something you wanted to add?
I'm just looking at the beginning of the year. They were 5-1. They beat Seattle. They beat San Francisco. They beat the Texans. Like, this team was so good this year.
That is a collapse.
And then it just something broke them.
Yeah, they and even getting players back hasn't made the difference on the offensive side. It's crazy. We've got our favorite segment of the entire year, Week 18 waivers.
Welcome to the Waiver Wire.
I prefer Week 18 waivers to Week 18 matchups, I'll be honest.
We'll have a Megalodon show tomorrow with all the Week 18 matchups.
That'll be
Can
awesome.
AI can't do that, right?
Not
We're
yet.
not there yet?
Soon.
Al?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Little delay
You know how
on the
those
mute button
buttons
there.
work?
Not yet.
Give me we'll blitz the waivers for those that are playing.
Blake Corum was going to be pretty high on this list.
Audric Estime should play a full allotment of snaps. We know the plan's not Taysom Hill at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt will probably get some work. He's been on fire.
He's a little more difficult because Crod was an illness. What do they do?
I just think he's been successful 2 weeks in a row.
That's what I'm saying.
He'll get some shots.
Do they say, okay, you know what? Last game of the year, let's see what Bill Krosky can do. I
think it's possible.
So I feel like that one, it makes sense. It's Philadelphia, and Philadelphia is probably going to want to win. That's a tougher one. You're going to need more information.
It's also one that you want to pay attention to later in the week. The Eagles will either say we are starting our guys, or we're if Jalen Carter is shelved because he's been dealing with injuries. Great, that's much better for the run game. When
you're faded out
Week
like you turned your
18.
volume down.
Week 18.
It's really
baby.
great for the run guard. Devin Singletary, Malik Davis, Emmanuel Wilson, other players you can consider.
I think
Singletary
is probably one of the best bets. Last week
Dallas, right?
Yeah, it's Dallas, which we saw Bill have a lot of success with last week. And he's getting enough work, 15 opportunities. Singletary. Okay, week 18.
I was going to say Malik Davis. You got to monitor Javante's injury, but that's 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks in a row that he kind of got banged up and knocked out of the game. I think he's on a 1 year, so maybe he wants to come back in and put some more stuff on tape, but I think he is secured at least a mid-level contract from Dallas. So I think Malik Davis might be the guy.
Luther Burden at wide receiver, Parker Washington at wide receiver, maybe some Ricky Pearsall at wide receiver. And what did you make of Jalen McMillan's ascension?
7 for.
He's basically doing what he did at the end of last year and being trusted to do so. 9 targets.
I mean, yeah, that's wild. So he's played 3 games, 46% of the snaps, 53 and 52. That was 2 targets, 3 targets, 9. So, I mean, I think the dart throw makes sense because he's a good player, but I'm not going to expect 9 targets.
Is Pearsall going to return to form now into the playoffs?
Pearsall was so frustrating this weekend because he was highly questionable going into the game. And when I'm on Sunday Live,
he got hurt during the game.
On Sunday Live, it kind of the reports, I think it was from Glazer, was like, he's going to go, but his last practice, it was pretty rough. Or someone had reported that. It's like, oh, well, a guy coming off of his injury that keeps getting re-aggravated, I don't know that he's a strong play. And then 5 for 85 is not like outrageous, but it's very good. And he looked awesome on the field. And it was like, who is Ricky Pearsall? Player?
I like Ricky Pearsall's like individual traits. I think he's a good route runner. I think he's got very good hands. Like he's all the things I like in a wide receiver. I like, but
he sounds like a good wide receiver.
He hasn't been
good routes, good hands.
Yeah, he hasn't been putting it together.
He plays in
much.
the NFC. What's the division he's in?
West, baby.
Ah, yeah.
But the thing is the matchup. I know it's a really important game, and you know, oftentimes those big, all eyes on it games, they can turn into shootouts. But it's divisional. Seattle's defense has been great. I would rather, if I had to take a shot on Ricky Pearsall or Parker Washington, who's got back-to-back 10 targets, has been good, the matchup against Tennessee, I'd go Parker Washington.
Would you play Luther Burden above?
Yes, Luther Burden would be my number one
assuming
pickup.
His leg is okay.
Yeah,
That's
the quad.
Very needed.
So Burden, Washington, Pearsall, then McMillan. McMillan will be playing, Carolina. He's the most widely available, so he is an option if the other guys are rostered. We'll take a break, and we'll talk some tight ends and quarterbacks.
All right. We are in the heart of the fantasy season, and the injuries are already piling up. ACLs, stingers, and turf toes, oh my. In fact, the only thing right now that feels good is having the perfect backup ready to go. So wouldn't it be great if you had a perfect backup in real life too? With Progressive, you get more than just a policy. You get a playbook full of coverage options that you can count on for your home or for your auto. You want to customize your protection? No problem. You can build your coverage just like your fantasy team, making sure you got the right players in every position and a backup plan when you need it most. And when life throws an audible, like that fumble in the driveway or a hailstorm at home, Progressive is there with 24/7 support. Don't get caught without a great backup. Visit Progressive.com to quote today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party issuers. Not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to term, policy, limits, and conditions.
All right. Colston Loveland, Mr. Loveland himself.
Mr. Loveland.
I believe he will have 2 entrants in the Footies nickname category this year, which are on the way.
He could have 3.
Catston Dogland. Colston, Mr. Loveland. 6 for 94 and a touchdown last week. Pick him up if you can. It's a big game. Jake Tonjes. If George Kittle misses again, Tonjes stepped right in. 7 for 60 and a touchdown. Big game against Seattle for the number 1 spot. You want something on the line there. And then beyond that, grab one of those darts and just throw it at the wall. Barner, Parkinson, Waller, Ferguson.
Did they? I forget. I know they ruled Bowers out. Did they just put him on IR?
He was on IR. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean,
Mayer is. I mean, getting an actual target share over, Waller was 3. Barner scored, but it was 3 targets. I prefer a guy who is going to be more involved in the offense, and I think Mayer will be.
I'm just catching up on this breaking news that we can't barely comment on, but some Stephon Diggs accusations coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The New England Patriots are aware of the accusations that have been made regarding Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs has informed the organization that he categorically denies the allegations. We support Stephon. We will continue to gather information and will cooperate. Yeah. Some sort of arraignment that was supposed to happen today. I'm not going to get into it anymore because it's all coming out right now. But
yeah, we can figure it out and talk about it tomorrow.
That's not good. He also is one of the players with the
he's
massive
so
bonuses.
close to $500,000.
So right now, Stephon Diggs needs 8 catches for $500,000.
Oh, is that what it is?
That is the
8.
perfect line to me, where it's like you have to start off strong, targeting him a lot to get that number, and it's high, but it's achievable, and it's not like 100,000. That's a $500,000.
Right.
I believe Pollard is 66 yards from 250K. You see the Keenan Allen numbers? He can make like
if he gets 2 touchdowns.
He can make 250 for 2 touchdowns, but he can make 750 for 6 more catches. And the easiest one to accomplish, Rico Dowdle gets $1 million if 7 more total yards.
Yeah.
Nice. Good for you, Rico.
Hunter Henry, 5 catches for 250K.
I want to say Rico also has a touchdown. He's 1 touchdown away from a bonus.
He is from 250K. You are correct. Dawson Knox a touchdown away from 100K. Saquon's 87 yards away from $250,000. And Darnold, 150 passing yards for 500K.
Okay.
But probably not going to be paying too much attention to that. They would like the number 1 seed. On the defensive side, guys, week 18.
Yeah. So the Packers, our numbers are showing they're out there in about half of leagues. They will be playing Minnesota. I can only assume it is Max Brosmer again. And while the Green Bay Packers defense is not what it was as of 2 months ago, Max Brosmer is just man. Oh, I don't want to be mean to him, but he's not an NFL quarterback.
No. And I mean the Vikings they have a great defense. They'll be facing probably some backups with Green Bay since they're locked in. The Rams take on Arizona. The Cardinals are 14-point underdogs. No matter who plays there. Buffalo takes on the Jets and Brady Cook.
Yeah, that would be.
Doesn't really matter.
If they're
who
available,
plays
that would
there.
be great. And I'm okay playing the Chiefs against the Raiders. I know that the Chiefs are they're down to the nubs.
Won't it be Pickett?
Yeah, it probably
Kenny
will be.
Pickett and Michael Mayer. Yeah, I'm not intimidated by that.
Yeah.
Let's talk some quarterbacks.
Full stream ahead.
I'm going to go Malik Willis against Minnesota. I think he'll get the start. He runs the football 9 for 60 and 2. If I needed a spot start, I don't mind winning a Week 18 title.
He finished the game, right?
Because
he left for a bit
at the end. Yeah.
Okay.
Monitor that, but he was the quarterback 3.
Minnesota's defense has been so good though lately.
Yeah.
That's tough. But Malik Willis looked great. I'm going to go with C.J. Stroud. They're playing for something. They could still win the division. They're 10-point home favorites against the Indianapolis Colts. They should really handle their business there with Riley Leonard starting instead of Phillip Rivers. But hopefully Stroud's been getting it done. He can always throw a 70-yard touchdown to Nico.
Or Higgins or Knoll.
And come on.
Yeah, we know.
Come on. Justin Herbert's not going to play for the Chargers. It's Trey Lance time, baby.
Honestly.
Oh, my gosh. That's all the time we have for today's show.
Honestly, you've got to throw Trey Lance in there. He's Mike's dude. He's going to be the number 1
paragraphs to talk about Trey Lance.
Oh, you do?
Oh,
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.